We're back. Did you miss us? You're watching 3 and Out with me, Brian Carter, and him, Ryan Orlovsky. Now's the time for a more or less segment, a complete ripoff of PTI's Over Under. Let's begin. Remember, like always, we can't go even, just more or less. First one. Chances LeBron James ends up with the Knicks in 2010. 3 and Out says it's a 33% chance.
You saw the ovations he was getting a couple of weeks ago when he was in Madison Square Garden. I mean, you got to go more on this one. I think the Knicks really want him. I think he really wants to go to New York.
Yeah, I would pretty much say more as well. I mean, it's tough to make that decision, though. I mean, right now he says, hey, they're the ones that are being more distracted at this point because they're a terrible team, whereas, the Cavs, one of the best teams in the NBA right now. So, I mean, I think it's, by the way, the thing with him and Charles Barkley, I'm sure you've read up on that, where Charles Barkley called Charles Barkley stupid, which I thought was a little rude to say that to a Hall of Famer, but Charles Barkley was mouthing off about how LeBron just needs to shut up and play his game, and I kind of have to side with Charles Barkley on that. I think overall he just needs to shut the hell up and play his game. But as far as the chances of him being with the Knicks in 2010, they're freeing up a lot of salary cap space. So I mean, yeah, it's a great possibility he's going to end up there. Playoff trips Matt Ryan will take the Falcons to in his career. 3 and Out believes he'll take them there 5 times.
I'm going to say if he can stay healthy, we're going to go over on this one. Just because the NFC South really is not really known for being in too strong of a division.
Right, but isn't there a pattern forming right now that the team that ends up last in the NFC South the next year will end up first? So I mean, if that pattern continues, which I think it will, because it's just a terrible division in the NFC, but I got to go less on that one. I think Matt Ryan right now is finding some success, but I believe he's just like any Major League Baseball pitcher who comes into the game eventually. People are going to, be able to learn, your game plan and be able to pick you off a little more. So I think he's going to struggle down the road, and I think maybe 4 times that he'll get them to the Holy Land. Seasons left in the tank for Grandpa Joe Pa at Penn State. 3 and Out says 0 more seasons at Penn State.
Joe Pa's coming back. Everybody knows he's coming back, so we got to get more.
Well, 3 and Out. I mean, what the heck? Are you stupid? I mean, how can you go less than 0 anyways? So, obviously, we've already talked about that. He will be back. He's already said he will. So, I mean, he doesn't even need a contract. The guy he's going to get paid just for being there, being on the sidelines, and he will, I promise you. He's going to die while he's on the sidelines. It's going to be cool. He's going to be like 99, die on the sidelines. Pretty cool. Whatever. So, yeah, over for sure. Games before Pac-Man is back in trouble and out of the NFL for good. 3 and Out gives him 7 more games before committing career suicide.
I'm going to say more because it's not Pac-Man anymore. Changes his name. Doesn't want to deal with that nickname anymore. I think he's really cleaned up his act. I think he's going to make an honest effort this time. Hopefully he won't get any more trouble.
But he said he wanted to go back to Adam Jones, right? And then he got in his recent troubles, which made him, to me, I think he now should go back to Pac-Man because he already said once, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Well, I mean, come on. The guy's not fooling anybody at this point. His track record is endless. He always says he's going to clean up his act, and he never does. So I'm going to say less than 7 games because he only has a few more this year that he'll get to play in. So by next year, he won't even be in the NFL, I think. Chances BCS will change as a result of Barack Obama's personal mantra. 3 and Out thinks the BCS has a 35% chance of changing for our new president.
You have to go less. I mean, what Obama says is not going to have any impact on it.
Who knows, man? Change. We don't know how much influence this guy's going to have, not just politically, but, nationwide. So I'm hoping that the answer is less because I'm a firm believer that I think college football is perfect how it is. Yeah, BCS will rip off teams from, here and there, but overall, I mean, that just makes the game more passionate every week. Every game should matter. So if you're undefeated, you're going to end up in the championship game if you have a tough schedule. So, I mean, there's really nothing to complain about. You just got to get out there every week and win your games. So I think less for sure. Remaining injuries for the Tar Heels before the season's over. 3 and Out thinks 2 is a fitting number of injuries for UNC.
I have to go more just because it's still early in the season. They've already had 2 injuries, and these injuries tend to linger on. So, I mean, who's to say that these guys aren't going to go down again?
They are contagious, just like yawns. But I'm going to have to say less. I think now that Hansborough's back, Zeller's already been hurt, so that injury doesn't count. Ginyard's going to be on his way back. So unless someone like Lawson goes down, then they might be in some trouble. But I do think maybe one more injury, but I think these Tar Heels are going to be gearing up, ready to go for March. That's what I think. Chances of anyone ever setting a new single-season MLB homer mark. 3-and-out forecast, a 20% chance, but puts an asterisk next to that player's number.
Well, if you're going to put an asterisk next to it, you got to go more. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but I think there's going to be a time when this record's eventually going to get broken.
I think I want to go back real quick to our first segment and say that if anyone's going to do it, I believe a man like Ryan Howard can do it, because Howard has legitimate power, but he's going to suffer with his batting average. So, I mean, he'll probably hit like 210, but I think he's the most likely candidate to break that record. I mean, he's got some ungodlike home run power, but his average is pathetic.
If he tries to break the record, he's going to strike out 300 times, though.
Yeah, well, that could happen too. He'll set 2 records in 1 year. Let's go with the Piedmont Sports Minute. This one on the Lions men's basketball team. Starts now. What do you think, Ryan?
Well, right now the Lions currently stand at 0-4. They dropped a heartbreaker last night to Greensboro College. J.C. Arabia, though, we mentioned earlier, a leader needs to emerge on this team, and certainly I think that it has in J.C. Arabia with 23 points last night. But the guys' bottom line is there's just too many turnovers. They're not getting the offensive rebounds that they need to get.
Yeah, without Baldwin, and again, a brand new team out there, they've struggled. A couple of heartbreaking losses. We're waiting on it, but, there are no seniors on this team. I mean, it's just a group of young men, and, they're going to emerge eventually. Maybe give them next year. Maybe this year is a year where they get to gel together and learn how each other plays, and then next year that's going to shape it up for a great year. Haribia, like you said, I think will emerge as a leader. You got Sam Coppage. He's definitely, he runs the point. He's the man when he has the basketball. He makes ultimate decisions, on the court. But I think overall Haribia is going to be this leader. But he needs to hit the boards a little harder. I mean, I don't criticize too much, but he needs to definitely hit the boards a little harder. Last thing, win that booty. Another surprise gift. So you just got to send us an email, 3notsports@gmail.com. There have been 10 70-plus point performances in NBA history. Name 3 different players to reach that plateau. That's all you got to do. Time for us to get out of here. Hope all you had a great Christmas break. Got tons of presents. If not, well, better luck next year. That's it for us here on 3 and Out. I'm Brian Carter.
I'm Ryan Orlowski.
That was 3.
And we're out.